Goodwood is where Dad first ever drove a Formula 3, Formula 2 and Formula 1 car, was here at Goodwood. 40th anniversary of my father's championship winning year. As you can see, we've got all of his cars, so we're here at Goodwood to celebrate that. It's very exciting indeed. Fortunately, I've been asked to drive the Wolf this morning, which is the last car he ever drove in a Grand Prix. It was in Monaco in 1979. It's ironic, his first ever Grand Prix was at Monaco and his last ever Grand Prix was at Monaco, and he never finished a single race in Monaco. Here's the championship winning car, McLaren M23, Cosworth V8 DFE engine, an absolute monster of a car, and it was actually a very, very successful car. They ran this chassis, I believe, from certainly 74 right the way through to even 77 they were still using it, and maybe even 78. I mean, it was a very successful chassis. This was a mega car. This was the same design, same chassis as what Emerson Fittipaldi won his championship in the previous year. So I drove this car at Silverstone just on a filming day. So it was just an extremely emotional day. So I was cruising along, sort of tears streaming through the helmet, and but also trying to concentrate on the car. There's an awful lot to think about in these cars if you're not used to them. It's not like a modern car. You know, you've really got to concentrate on an awful lot of things, otherwise you damage them. Simple as that. Well, on the wheel, there's nothing. Yeah, it's just the wheel. But in here, you've got your engine temperature, water temperature, and your oil pressure are the important ones. And obviously, then the revs, you've obviously got to keep below. You can't over rev it. They don't have rev limiters like modern cars do. I think the best Dad drove in this car, well, obviously Brands Hatch was a killer of a race, but I can only say, go with his opinion. The American and Canadian Grand Prix, he had to win both of them to stay in, to have a hope at the championship, and he did. In his opinion, he said those two races, he drove perfectly.
Is it the championship winning car that is your favourite?
I'm inclined to the Hesketh, the 308B. I mean, it's such a beautiful car. Dad's first Formula 1 victory, and first Grand Prix victory. So I think I'd probably be leaning towards the Hesketh, but I'd be leaning the McLaren as well. They're both beautiful cars. Sitting in Dad's car, it is emotional, but most of it is concentrated on what I need to do with the car, because it's not second nature to me, because I don't drive them very frequently. I hardly ever drive them. So most of what's going through my mind is the controls of the car, making sure it's running properly. I'm not going to break it, and certainly not going to crash it. So that's what's going through my head. I'm proud having my local track being the biggest and the most awesome car show in the whole of the world, doing that throughout the year. It is the biggest and the best and the greatest. If you're a car fanatic, this is the one you want to come to.
And one of the Jags as well. Look how crowded it is down there, but look who's getting into number 15. Joe McCurry very quickly out. Tom Christensen, 9 times Le Mans winner, hops into the number 15 Ferrari.